Alright guys, welcome to tonight's drawing. Oh my goodness. We're going to be... Actually, let me just make sure I'm up and running. Yeah, there we go. It's all wobbly. So tonight we're actually going to be filling in a lot of the Lambda symbol, and I'll be explaining what the Lambda symbol in a second. Let me just get my gloves on. My name is Joshua Lamb. I am an ink artist all around, but I do enjoy my ink. And tonight we're going to be filling in a lot of the major parts of it, which will allow me to do a lot of more of the details and fine-tuning, and we should be done with this honestly probably tomorrow or Monday, and I'll be happy to be done with this because this is actually taking me a lot longer than I thought because I've been testing it. Well, honestly, the software I've been using is really frustrating. But let me get my hat real quick so my hair doesn't get in the way. All right, so let's look at it. It's looking pretty good. So what I did off screen, let me get the mic up here closer to my beautiful lips so you can enjoy my mouth and my voice. Oh, we have one concurrent viewer. Oh wait, that's me. All right. If you're just now joining, I'm going to be putting out content left and right, so you're more than welcome to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It'd be quite the coolness. Okay, so what did I do off screen just now before I started all this? I actually used a pencil. I used my HB here to draw in some of these. It looks like my lighting is a little bit off. But you can see here, probably a little bit better. I started drawing in some of these. And I'm going over top the ink lines because there's no need. I can erase this after I'm done. And that's a really cool thing. Once you've inked, you can still erase the pencil lines, and that's the benefit. The point of the Lambda symbol is right here. So it's going straight down. It's not directly in the dead center of the image. And the reason why is because the image is actually, I gotta switch the view again. All right, so let me zoom out. Zoom out, Josh. Oops, can't show that. I got some music playing. Stay still. Okay. So what we're doing here is, I actually drew the image a little bit to the left. Right. This is because I wasn't sure how far his foot was going to be to the right, so I pulled it back to the left a little bit, and luckily it worked out. I haven't drawn the bottom part yet because this will be last. I need to understand how much darkness is here, and this is just kind of a subconscious thing that I do. And I apologize if I burp or something like that. I have a nice beard to my Thursday night, enjoying myself while I draw. I don't know if you like to do the same, but I'm a big fan of having a glass of wine or something to enjoy myself. It really calms the nerves and lets me not worry about being on camera or performing for the camera. No, see, I'm messing up here. But for the most part, the Lambda symbol's intersecting points right here at the hair line, and it's going to be coming straight down. But the V is like this, and this will be the black spot, the darks behind the Spartan. All these lines up here will be kind of, I will do a few black spots up here to kind of keep the darkness heavy. I want to definitely fill this whole image with black as much as possible. but I don't want to take away from the Spartan kneeling. Remember, this is going to be a tattoo, and it's going to be a very complicated tattoo. But right now, this is just the major parts of the image. So these parts will be cut off for the tattoo. In fact, I imagine I'm going to put a line here and a line like this. Music, why are you so loud? Sorry, if my music's a bit loud, that's because I don't know what I'm doing with my life. And then I'm going to cut in like this and kind of make it like something that'll fit the thigh. But let's just get with it, and you'll see what I'm doing from here on out. Some of the details you can see here very closely. Different cross-hatching techniques. But I do enjoy this view because I can really get into it. I wish it would stop shaking. The camera I'm using, if you want to know what the cameras I'm using, I'm a videographer, so then I love my cameras. I'm using the Sony a7 III with a 24-70 lens by, I think it's a Sigma. No. Yeah, it is a Sigma. Beautiful lens. And then the Blackmagic 6K with a Sigma 1835, also absolutely gorgeous, beautiful for cinema. And when I do my documentary for the indigenous, you're going to just see the quality. I'm going to be showing some stuff here and there to kind of encourage the project that I'm doing. I'm so happy about it. It excites me beyond most projects. But okay, let's begin drawing so you guys don't waste your time and I don't waste mine. All right. So, first things first. I'm going to draw the outline so that way we can see it. And I want to go in with the brush. I will be using the Micron Pigma. I'm sorry, this is a Pigma. I thought this was Micron. I'm sorry? Is Micron the name of the style? Oh, it is Pigma. I've been saying Micron my whole life. Sakura. Then what's Sakura? Is that the brand? I don't know. But I am going to be reaching out to them to see if they want to help sponsor some of my videos and work, because I absolutely love them. And if you're a creator, I recommend doing the same. I found out that there's a lot of cool affiliate programs that will allow you to do that. And even if you have a small viewer base like me, I'm not even at 1,000 subscribers, which is extremely tiny. But do I care about that? No, because I'm drawing for myself and for the one, you know? So right now I'm just going to outline all these pencil areas that I've drawn. If it goes off screen, I apologize. I will try to keep everything on screen. But because I have to be focused, I might not say much. Oh yeah, I gotta talk about what the Lambda symbol actually is. My bad. Lambda symbol. Okay, so if you don't know what the Lambda symbol is, it's the upside down V. Okay, it is the 11th letter of the Greek alphabet, and it's derived from the Phoenician letter Lamed. Okay, and just to give some context, it's associated with the military, and it's often associated with Spartan warriors specifically, right? It's depicted on the Spartan shield. On his shield here, see, I kind of put it here on the front. You can't really tell yet because I haven't shaded it in, but there is an extruded part of the shield that has the V. And if you watch the movie 300, you'll see the big upside down V. I call it the V, not like this, but like that, upside down V. It's the Lambda. Lambda. Yeah, that's right. It has my last name in it. How cool is that? Anyways, the Lambda on the shield actually is associated with a phrase. I'm going to butcher this in Greek, so forgive me, but it's Aitan I epitas. I don't know. I probably butchered that. Aitan epitas? I don't know. I don't speak Greek very well. Anyways, this means either with it or on it. You remember in the movie 300, if you've seen it, the wife of King Leonidas She says, you know, I hope you I return either with it or on it, right, to the shield. And that's a very strong thing for the Spartans because battle was the most important thing to the Spartans. War was a glorious thing for the Spartans, and if you returned alive, right, all well and done, but it better be a battle that you've won and not lost, because it is almost a disgrace to return, just I quit, I was scared or I ran away. That doesn't happen. That's not how it works. In the Spartan culture, to die in battle is a glory, kind of like a Viking thing too. And actually, a lot of ancient cultures respect death in that fashion, and I think that's a beautiful thing because we even do that for a lot of our militaries today. Our soldiers are trained to kind of like die on the battlefield with glory, right? I mean, today we cherish life a lot more, which is fantastic, and we should. But even so, if I'm out protecting my land and my wife and my kids and all the things that I love, I wouldn't want to leave the chance to say that if I ran away from it, that my family wouldn't feel protected. I want them to know that they're protected, that they're safe. And I think that was kind of the mentality back then. Right. The historical origin of this honestly just comes from a letter, but they've turned it into something that means so much more. And how cool is that? We've done the same with Greek lettering and different ancient symbols throughout time. I know the USA, they use a lot of the Greek and Greek letters for colleges and Alpha Omega, Chi Alpha, and stuff like that. And it's cool that we can do that. And a lot of stuff comes from the Greek culture. So, yeah. Okay, let's get into this a little bit more. Can't really see without putting my head directly above the lens, and I gotta avoid that. I'm gonna try to get as much done within the hour and a half I'm online. I've been playing with different times that the live stream works best, and it looks like right now that the best time to go live is around 2 o'clock for me, which I'm on the West Coast. Oh man, see, come on, Josh, what are you doing? But that mainly means because a lot of my viewers are even international or on the East Coast, they're 4 hours ahead or much later, getting off of work. So I think that's why I tried really early in the morning, like 5 or 6, and that worked well. But let me tell you, waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to draw is rough, especially since I'm a night owl. I get all my energy at night. We're gonna have to figure that one out. So I'm just making up lines as we go. The Lambda symbol here is not a straight V. It is a brush. It's meant to look like a brush stroke, a big, gigantic splatter brush stroke. And that's why it's all jagged and looks all cool as it does. The Lambda symbol is actually used also in, I think, quantum physics as the symbol for wavelengths, the extent of a periodic wave. I mean, it's used in a lot of different ways. Now, is that where it really derived from? I don't know. I don't know if they're stealing stuff like that. I don't know why they would use it, but maybe it just looks like it and they didn't even think of the Lambda symbol. It's interesting. I I found my accent's coming out. If you ever hear me have a twang, that's because I'm from Texas, from Houston, and sometimes my country accent rips me apart. So I'm gonna apologize in advance. And what's even more weird is that I'm Asian, so if you saw me do this, you'd be even more confused. Yeah, I confuse myself sometimes because when I'm around my family and they're super redneck, oh my gosh, they're like, "Hey boy, what you gonna do around here? You gonna go to McDonald's get something to eat?" And I'm like, "No," and they're like, "We ain't going out there and get the mow and grass. You can do something." I'm like, "What are you saying, man?" But I know what they're saying. I just don't want to. I don't want to give in to it. It took a long time to get rid of my accent as a little kid. No joke. Because I had a bad accent. People were they were confused all the time, and I had to like figure out like, oh, should I like speak better? Ain't y'all gonna? Use gonna a lot. I oughta. I grew up with Jeff Foxworthy too, because he's just hilarious. If you haven't seen any Jeff Foxworthy stand up, you should definitely give it a try because he's brilliant. He's a good person too. I really enjoy good. Oh man, I'm drawing off screen, aren't I? Anyways, that's where we're going right now. It's because I'm so close. Okay, let's just stay here, Josh. Don't move the page. Goodness. What was I doing again? What was I talking about? I don't know. Hey, I want to thank you for watching too. If you're viewing this right now and watching this, you're one of the select few that are awesome in the world. I'm just kidding. There's amazing, awesome people all over the world. But I really appreciate you watching, and I hope that you like and subscribe to my channel because I'd really appreciate it. I hate having to say that, tell you the truth. I hate advertising myself, but I know how important it is to say it on YouTube and Instagram and stuff. If you want to follow me on Instagram, the Inktology page, it's still growing. It's very small. I have 17 followers. You're like 17? Yeah, 17. Because my original one is exo.chocolam, and you can follow me there. That's where most of my other creative work is at, and I post there a lot more. But I created Inktology to be strictly for ink work specifically, and I just started it, and I haven't promoted it. I haven't done anything. I haven't liked anybody's stuff really. I follow 46 people, and half of those people I follow on exo.chocolam Instagram. But I do that because I want to separate certain things for business and whatnot. But the exo.chocolam is all of my art, and you can enjoy it there and follow me there. It was actually a lot higher, to tell you the truth. I had about 2,000 more subscribers at one point, but because I don't upkeep it, within the year it dropped down to where it's at like 1,400 now or something, 1,300 followers. And that's because I just haven't upkept it, and I don't care to keep on liking stuff to keep growing. I don't find it valuable in life to pursue likes and follows. I understand that, yeah, maybe you can get more popularity if you have 10,000 followers and all that, but the moment that you stop, those followers are going to just drop out because of algorithm and all these kinds of different things. And I find that's a cheap way of doing business and have a following. So if you follow me and you want to stay with me, then stay with me. If you don't want to follow me and stay with me, then don't. You know what I mean? I'm not going to waste my time and my efforts trying to gain people when my life is way too short for all that stuff. And I recommend you do the same. It's not helpful in any way to continue to do such things. Okay. So the Lambda symbol, the upside down V, is also associated with cosmological constant in the field of astrophysics. It was introduced by Albert Einstein in his theory of general relativity to, to achieve the static universe and whatnot. It's crazy why he would use these things, but Albert, who knows what Albert does? What Albert does has changed the world. But Einstein is interesting because a lot of people would think that he's a super genius and all this, but he had troubles, he had problems, he had, he wasn't good in all his school stuff and ridiculed, and yet he's part of our major civilization's growth, right? And all the technology and advancements that were based off of his mathematics and his discoveries and equations have really altered the universe as we know it, right? And to think that a man was just trying to be himself and discover himself his whole life and probably didn't have any of the goals of trying to achieve something great, but just trying to help figure out the world a little bit better, and ended up giving us, a lot of good and a lot of bad. But I don't think it's his fault. It's man's fault that we turn things into bad. That's just our nature. If something was meant for good, we will destroy it. It's rarely that something good is created by us and it stays good, right? Take, for example, religion. Many people think religion is something very good for us. But what people don't do is measure the negative effects of religion, because they don't want to. They'll feel religion's hard because there's a lot of faith and there's a lot of belief systems, and if you start to crack that down in a person's mentality, they start to break down, and then it becomes an aggressive thing to them, which I'm hoping to help, reconcile for people. It's a very difficult thing. I had a very nice comment today on Facebook. I've been posting on my Facebook a lot of obviously controversial stuff with religious things, and not obvious to you, but if you follow my page, you would know. I ask a lot of questions that are pretty tough to answer, but it's all in good heart, and I don't always get good responses. I get a lot of bad responses because people instantly think that I'm wrong and I'm attacking them or something, which I have nothing. I'm not going to attack anybody. I don't pull anyone out of that form. But because it's about religion and questioning religions, man, I get a lot of hate. But every once in a while, I'll get a really beautiful comment, personal message saying, I really appreciate your questions. I really appreciate what you're doing. I know it must be hard, and it's helped me think about a lot of stuff, and I'm glad that you're doing it when no one else will. And that keeps me going, So if you're trying to do anything that kind of seems radical and you don't understand why people don't understand it, just keep going. As long as it's good and helpful to society, keep trying. And you're not doing it for everybody to please everybody. You're doing it just for the one person you're helping, right? And I'm very happy that I'm helping this person in some way. If I'm not helping them, at least I'm giving them an outlet to feel seen and heard. Okay, so this is coming across here, and I'm going to have to match it right there. So that looks about right. As long as I don't go too far low, it should be a pretty good lambda symbol. But in order to make sure it's a lambda, I'm going to have to come up here and create a little bit of space. Am I going to remember that that's there? I don't know. Yeah, we'll see what's up. I finished a really good TV show today called Money Heist in English. The Spanish is like El Papel or something, or I don't know, something Papel. And I finished season 2 at least, and it was awesome. I haven't seen a show that good in a long time. Game of Thrones was a pretty good one. Actually, it's probably the best. Let's see, what's another good show I really enjoyed? Lord of the Rings is always fun, but that's not, the show wasn't as good as the movies, obviously. But Money Heist was really good because it you know what it did really well is that when you think of a money heist or some kind of robbery movie, you're always like, well, how are they gonna? Why would they do that? Like, why is that such a? Why did you make that decision? And you're always angry at some people because you're like, that's such a really ridiculous thing to do. Like, you're just gonna go take the money and do this or that or whatever, and like, why would you leave that opening? Like, that's very not intelligent. And I get angry at those shows because I'm like, ugh, like movies and stuff. I'm like, why would you do that? That or they do like Ocean's 11 where they don't tell you everything and keep you thinking that they're making mistakes, but really they have it all planned out. And that's kind of what this was about. It was kind of like you think they're going to make mistakes, but they actually do make mistakes, but they recover. They could recover very well, and they've plotted out everything very well. And I'm just so impressed by the way they keep you intrigued by the heist itself. So if you haven't seen it, definitely go to watch this. All subtitled, and one of the best shows I've ever seen, especially coming out of Spain. It's awesome. I'm on season 3 now. I'm excited. Can it be as good as season 2? Probably not, but I really enjoy the cast. I enjoy the acting, and there's returning actors to it, so I'm hoping that it's going to be at least something fun to watch. They're on like season 5 or something. I think there's one in Berlin. But I'm not going to spoil anything, so don't worry. Another thing to keep your eyes out on is the new Deadpool. It's going to be great. Deadpool is an awesome movie that is probably the last kind of Marvel thing that is good. A lot of Marvel stuff has kind of gone down the drain, sadly. And I blame Disney for that. Disney just ruins everything. They ruin Star Wars. They ruin everything. Like, I like the last couple Star Wars movies, like, I almost wanted to throw up because I felt like my childhood was being destroyed. I grew up on Star Wars. In fact, when I drew and did homework, I'd watch Star Wars on the VHS on loop, like A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, just on loop. I know every single line of Star Wars, every single line, because I've watched it that much in those many hours. And when Disney came out with it, episode 1, I actually did enjoy. I know some people are like, what? Episode 1 was fun. I thought it was good for kids. I thought I'm not a big fan of Jar Jar, but nobody is. But then pod racing, that's a cool concept. And then they had, some of my favorite actors like Natalie Portman and Liam Neeson and all these really good actors. Darth Maul came out like Darth Maul. Come on. He's a beast. He should have had his own thing because he's that cool. But Disney ruined it. Disney threw in Rey and all this other nonsense that doesn't even fit the universe. And then Luke Skywalker. Come on, Luke. What was that about? He died from being too tired. I guess Yoda did too, in a sense, but he was kind of really old. Back to the drawing for 1 second. So now that we've done it, let me zoom out. We've got, as you can see here, the Lambda is a brush stroke going up, turns here at the center, and comes back down. I'm going to have to fill in a little bit more here. think that's pretty good. I think I like where we're at. Possibly might make a little bit of a mark here just to... Having beers is always a testy thing to do when you're on the mic. It's good beer, but it gives me, you know, that gassiness. Okay. So, this is the Lambda we're drawing, and now let's start inking this bad boy in. Thank you for joining, and leave me any comments if you have any question on what I'm doing. I'm sure it doesn't really make sense in a lot of ways. I'm going to start up here at the top and start coloring this in. So let's zoom in. Stop shaking, camera. All right. Okay, there we go. It's probably one of the more tedious processes because filling in stuff, you have to really know your brush tip, make sure it doesn't bleed over. As you can see, the raindrops here get kind of overtaken with different thicknesses because I'm filling in, and I might actually jump in a millimeter into the rain. It's hard, but from a distance you won't be able to notice it, so it shouldn't be an issue. Have you ever been to Greece, you know? Have you been to Sparta? If you have, let me know. I would love to know how it is and what you thought of it. I've never been to Sparta. I've never been to Greece, Rome, or anything like that. I've stayed out of Europe mostly because I've traveled in Asia mostly. Been all over Asia. I don't know what country I've not been in Asia, actually. Tibet. I haven't been to Tibet yet. That sounds cool. And India. I'm really looking forward to go to India and Tibet. Been to Myanmar, been to China, Thailand, all the Southeast Asian countries. Haven't been to Taiwan. That'll be soon, hopefully. Been to North Korea, South Korea, every kind of country I can get to. My favorite one is Japan. The culture there is just perfect. To me, at least. What's that? Oh, that's his hair. Okay. But Europe sounds amazing. Rome sounds amazing. I'm excited to have some, you know, authentic pizza in Italy, and go to Greece and have some, you know, a big old fat Greek wedding, right? You know, Frank Miller did a great job with the movie 300. I mean, not Frank Miller, but they did a great interpretation of Frank Miller's comic of 300, I think. There was a scene where Xerxes, I think, is standing and he's kind of silhouetted, and his jewelry is all white while he's kind of all dark. It looked just like the comic book. Super cool. But then you have like Sin City that really rips into the style of Frank Miller. I love that movie too. Really good. Still on screen, ain't I? Yeah. Let's switch views for you guys. It's kind of boring and still. There you go. I have a video I'm posting tomorrow about the progress of drawing and how my style has developed over the last 2 years, or well, actually over my entire career. It's a short video, and I kind of pull out some drawings. I don't pull out all of them, but some of the major inking styles that'll help. Why is this music like super loud? Some of the inking styles that show off how I started off really terrible, and even as ones I did in like the 5th grade, I have this Captain America and cabled pencil drawing that I did, and then it's all torn up because I don't know, I got angry and ripped it up. Emotional artist life, you know. A lot of my artwork I'd torn up and thrown away. I gave away a lot of it too when I was younger. I just didn't think art was valuable in that sense. I just wanted to give away and should have kept it. Lesson learned. But tomorrow I'll post it, and you can kind of see how there's different styles of inking that I try all the time. And some of the more recent pieces have a collection of all the different cross hatchings and styles that I've collected as an artist. I originally started inking due to Todd McFarlane. When I was younger, when I had comic books when I was like, I don't know how old I was. I started collecting them when I was like 7, 8 maybe. And I had X-Men and more of the Marvel Stan Lee style. But I don't know how I came across Todd McFarlane, but when I did, it was a game changer. His style was so rough and so like sketchy that it made me feel like I could be free with the pen, and the pen taught me how to make mistakes and enjoy a lot of the issues with solidifying your drawing. I find that a lot of my friends are afraid of the pen until they've done a lot of pencil work. I think the pencil work is fun, but just go for the pen, man. You know, enjoy it. Fear not. You make a mistake, that's too bad, so sad, but you can fix it. Like I do all the time. Like this picture right here has tons of mistakes, but you'll never know because I'll hide it like a professional. I kind of show like some of my pen work. I started getting back into the ink work because of Inktober. It kind of gave me the confidence to just put out content and put out pieces of art that I enjoyed. And if you think that you need to be a great artist to do ink or to put out content that you enjoy, you don't. Because no one cares if you're a fantastic artist. Honestly, they just think that, hey, as long as you're putting out content that they like or enjoy, someone's going to follow you. And I put out content. Honestly, I just put out content for myself most of the time, but then I know that some people enjoy it, so I hope you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, please let me know. You're not going to hurt my feelings. You're just going to hurt your little fingers typing it into your phone or your computer. I think this is going to take quite some time. So, oh well. What I may do is, since you kind of already see what I'm doing. I'm going to be doing, filling in all this black. I might do this off screen when I'm watching a movie, so that way I don't bore you as a viewer doing this. I know a lot of people do time lapse, or they have like something to talk about. I don't have anything really to talk about. I'm trying to fill in the space, not be so boring, but it is not easy. Some really good news is that I'll be moving soon, hopefully, to a new apartment where we will have an office space or a second bedroom that I can have more like free time or quality space to do this work and not be afraid of like speaking or being too loud, or my wife doesn't have to be quiet whenever I'm doing this, because she has to, like, in order to do her stuff, she has to pretty much be put on mute. Sorry. My dog doesn't care though, he just snores it up, so if you hear him snoring in the background, I can't help it. That dog, all he does is sleep all day. Kind of funny. His energy drink is the word ball. If I say ball too loud, I gotta be careful. He'll just bolt up with high speed and like be ready to play at any moment's notice. It's looking good. Once the blacks are put behind the rain, it just looks so nice, and it actually feels like you did something right, you know? At least it makes me feel like I did something right. Now there's issues here with the lines being coming in through, but I can always fix that by making thinner rain or whatever. But you definitely want to be careful, because the brush pen actually works off of pressure. You know, if you push down harder, it's going to disappear. I mean, it's going to make it thicker lines, and I don't want to do that. Not on the edges. On the edges, you want to stay very fine, and then in the center, you can push harder and fill it in. And also, don't switch your pens. I have a pen here. This is what I use. Kim Jong-il, when he was around, he used this to draw a lot, and people were asking where this pen was and how to use it and stuff. And this pen is really good to just put stuff on the page and brush it through. And it's probably even great for shading. But the ink is different. So if you mix it, you're going to see two different shades of black. And you definitely don't want to do that, because it looks tacky, because there's a lot of inks out there. Like this Prismacolor brush I have has a blue tint to it. This is more of a full black, whereas that one's got a blue black, and you can tell the difference in the light. Not nice. If you have a favorite brush pen or a type of pen you use, let me know. Put it in the comments. Tell me what's up. I want to try more and see what other pens there are out there. I was hoping to go see the Godzilla in black and white, but I think we're going to miss it. Just to do the timing and things that we have to get done. If you get to see the black and white Godzilla -1, let me know. Tell me how it is. I bet it's going to be epic. I saw it in color. It was epic in color. But black and white is my jam. because it strips away all the need for color, and it kind of says, here's the image, it can be drawn, you know, and enjoy the movie that way. I love black and white films. The Artist, the movie The Artist, that was so good. All in black and white. Okay, we're still going good. My cameras are still on, that battery didn't die. Switch up the view in a second once I figure out what I'm doing here. Yeah, all right. Also, tomorrow's video is going to be showing some of my future project, or the project that I'm working on that's actually taken me an entire year to do because, well, I had so much going on this year with my card game and other projects that I didn't even get to really get into it, as well as the history I had to keep on learning. Oh, man. Uh-oh. That was a range strike, and I went right. I put a dot right in the dead center. You know what? The eyes will decide. I'm not gonna let that worry and bother me. It's Thursday night. Tomorrow's Friday, guys. Aren't you excited? Friday. Working for the weekend doesn't exist anymore. Darn COVID ruined everything. I don't know if you, but there was a time when weekends were the best. Even before COVID, it started going downhill because I guess the weekend things to do weren't as fun. But I remember being a teenager, and then you'd work for the Fridays, Saturday, Sunday. We'd hate it too. We'd be like, why do we have to work for this for the weekend? But then at the same time, there was so much freedom on the weekend to do things that were exciting. You know, go to putt-putt, go-kart places, and go to what am I doing here? Gotta be careful here with what I'm drawing. Because, yeah, I don't know. Maybe the culture was different back in the States. I don't know. Definitely enjoyed it, though. No. See, that's what happens when you press too hard and you make a fast movement. You ruin the straight line. Now you got to go back and fix it. I wouldn't have these issues if I just did the 05 Micron. But if I did that, it would take me forever. And I need to brush this in. You know, I'll show you what it looks like too, just for kicks and giggles. There it is. So if I started coloring in, it'd be easy because I could just do this. But look how long this is going to take me if I do this. I mean, I get straight lines though. I'm not going to be bleeding in because this thing doesn't do that. The brush is just so much more difficult, but you have to practice it and you have to master it if you want to use it more often. And I don't mind messing up a little bit on this because I can always fix these little things. They're minor issues. This does take forever though. And it hurts my wrist if I'm going to go back and forth all the time. But yeah, you can see I'm going to have cleaner lines. But it's okay. I don't want to do that. You know what? What's this? What is this? Get that in there. That's a raindrop. Add that then we're good. And then again, I think that should be colored right there. All right, we're making progress. We're making progress. Oh, I thought that was a real hair. You can see that line right there. It's actually from his hair here coming through in the back. I probably should shade in the spear here because that's just been sitting there. The cool thing about the 05, even though it's a thick brush, if you tilted it on its side, the edge of the felt pin works as a 1. Sometimes even smaller than that. You can see I get some really fine lines in here. And then I can go right back to the thicker lines because it's, you know, that's how it works. Doesn't look so bad. It's actually pretty good. All right, let's switch back to the normal view. And then we're going to keep on color. I'm going to color in this area here. And the rest of the area, since, you know, you probably don't want to see me color in all the rest of that, I'll call it after I get about this far into it. And then tomorrow I'll post a video of, I'll do it again, but I'll have this all colored in. I'm not going to do live stream of that. Really no point. You guys know what this is. Hey, I have 2 5s. Oh yeah, look at that. Didn't even know I had 2 of them. Give me a millisecond. Let me grab a drink. It's amazing how fast time flies when you're doing this. It says I've been streaming for almost an hour now. It feels like I've been doing it for 20 minutes. Let me know if you would like to see me draw something. I like taking requests because I like to push the limits of what I can do. So if you have an idea like, hey Josh, I want to see you draw a minotaur or a centaur, or I don't know, Troy, or whatever, I'll do it. I won't do anything naughty though, so don't request naughty stuff. I don't know if you were ever an artist that was in school that got requested by your friends to draw naughty stuff. I sure was. It was no fun. First of all, I'm terrible at drawing female figures. Secondly, to draw something like that in a school setting and not get caught, ultimately difficult. And then if you do get caught, then everyone thinks like you're, one of those kind of kids. And I'm like, that's not for me, it's for this guy. And they're like, sure, Josh. I was like, man, what am I going to do with this drawing? What do you think I'm going to do with this? Like, I can't take this home and show it off to my dad. You know what I mean? Bullies. I wonder if kids still do that. Make the artist draw weird stuff that they don't really want to draw. There's so many good artists out there too. I wish I still kept in contact with some of the artists in art class, because one of these kids I knew, he was so good. My goodness, he had talent that I just envied beyond compare. I'm going to turn this upside down. The reason why is because I made a bad maneuver here, going inward on the raindrop. So I want to thin it out, and the only way to thin it out is to actually just continue that. That was hard. That was tough. Yeah, so there we go. We fixed it. I know it's upside down, but it's what I gotta do. I'll flip it back around in a second. Actually, let me go ahead and get these lines in there. I just downloaded Procreate Dreams. If you have an iPad and you know what Procreate is, it is the tool I've been dreaming of my entire life. Not kidding. A tool that I can just draw straight to the like a pad and then export it or show it off and manipulate it in the ways I need to. Procreate is phenomenal, and they finally came out with a thing called Procreate Dreams, and it's super affordable, but it's an animation tool, but just like Procreate, and it makes animating so easy because you can press the record button and move the object around the screen, and it'll keep that in real time, you know. So for my trading card game, I have this, you know, I used my character, not my characters, the artist's character. I'm not the artist. You know, how weird is that? But I develop his characters into animations, and it makes it so much easier because they're fun and cartoony, and I can make their mouths and blink real simple. And you can do frame by frame, you can do onion skin, you can do everything you need to do. Man, I said I was going to flip this around. I didn't even do it. Okay. But definitely try out, if you can afford it. It's like $20, but it is an amazing tool. And if you have an iPad, definitely try it out. There's really cool stuff you can do, even simple animations. Like even this right here, if I wanted to animate this, what I would do is take away the spots here of the spit, and I would just have his, I would do like a zoom in, and then the spit kind of coming out and like floating upwards to the screen, kind of like not a normal animation. Maybe his hair, I can make it flow a little bit by, I don't know how I would do that. That's a little bit more difficult. That's animating. But yeah, it's just it's a tool that's really worth trying out and playing with. I gotta focus real quick. Did I mess that up? No, I did it right. Yeah. So, as you can see, look at it. It's coming through. You got the blacks coming through, and then the more I get around him, he's going to just really pop out. And this is going to become one really sick tattoo. Like, man, I'm going to be stoked. I hope my brother likes it. If he doesn't, I'll disown him. That's what I'll do. Nah. Kind of weird to draw tattoos for people. I don't like doing it. I mentioned this before. It makes me feel really awkward that someone would want a drawing on their body that I did. Mad respect to tattoo artists. I tried tattooing myself. I bought the needle, the tattoo machine, and everything, and realized I don't like needles. I'm afraid of needles, mainly because I got some fake skin, and I tried to tattoo a straight line. A, it wasn't straight at all. It looked like a thunderbolt, and B, I don't know the depth of how far a needle should go into the skin, so it just looked like I was ripping someone's skin apart, and it freaked me out. I was like, what? If I did this to a person, I would be like in tears, thinking that I messed them up hard. It's just terrifying to me. And then on top of that, you know, like, what if I sneeze? And then I make a weird line on them, and then they're like, did you just ruin the art piece? And I'm like, oh boy. You know, I don't know, mad respect to tattoo artists because they can shade and do all these really cool things on skin and skins of different color, different thicknesses, and man, that's a skill. That is a mad skill. And people think that like tattoo artists are kind of like, not that like valued and whatever. I don't know how to explain it. They have a different culture to them. Maybe not a good culture that people think about, but honestly, they are better artists than majority of the artists out there in galleries. By far, by far, because they're able to do so many different styles with ink being injected into someone's skin. Does that make sense? It's getting injected into your skin. Ugh. And they have to keep their composure while the person's like about to cry because it's so painful. And you know what? They have to do stuff that they don't even want to draw half the time. Do you know how many drunk people go in there and get tattoos of butterflies and Chinese letters? No way you're going to pay me to do that nonsense. I've got too many. I got too much morals. I would totally mess with them. That's why there's so many people with Chinese letters. They don't know what they say. It says something weird like "Happy Birthday" instead of like some wisdom thing. Because the artist has to deal with it all the time, and I agree. If you have to deal with drunk people doing that, I'd be writing all kinds of weird stuff. I'd be writing like the coordinates to the McDonald's or weird phrases like I don't know, flush the toilet or something funny. Or maybe when they meet a Chinese person that speaks Mandarin or Cantonese lettering, I would put like, I don't know, I'd make it super funny, be like offensive almost, but that's if I was a tattoo artist. Thank goodness I'm not. The world's a better place that I'm not. But as for drawing tattoos for people to go get tattooed, it's a little bit easier. I have nothing against tattoos. I don't have any tattoos myself because I don't like needles, like I mentioned. The artist that I work with for my trading card game, he's tatted up like crazy. He loves it, and it's a lot of it's his art, which is even more weird because I wouldn't want my own art on my body. I wouldn't mind having someone else's art. If Da Vinci wanted to do something on me, wouldn't mind Da Vinci's work, but for the most part, I'm a little bit too picky, and I like to keep my body palette as clean as possible. I mean, I already have like sunspots and everything. That's enough. Don't need ink on my skin. If I was to get a tattoo, and I've thought about it long and hard, it would be just my ring finger. I would just tattoo a ring, just a black ring. That's simple as that. So I don't have to wear a piece of jewelry. Things on my fingers feel weird, you know. You guys can see that? No. There you go. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. I have to do that every once in a while, say the like and subscribe thing. That's what people do, I guess. Follow me on exo.chocolam on Instagram. Inktology website will be going up hopefully by the end of this month or the first week of next month. I've been having issues with getting Printful and some of these kind of shopping print on demand things to have the quality that I want at the price that I need to have it at. My Patreon will go up soon too. Once I figure out how to do the Printful on the website. I need the website first before I can do Patreon to lead people there. My website's going to be mainly a blog on how I draw, why I draw, and the concepts I draw, and obviously about the Spartan history and stuff. It's going to be built off of history and giving facts and fun things for people to learn about, not just about me ranting about what I'm ranting to you right now, but in actual education, I was a teacher for 6 years, so I want to continue that, but through art education and helping out everyone from all ages fulfill their art desires, whether that be through 3D art, pen and ink, pencil, painting, oil, watercolor, whatever it is. We'll eventually hit it and we'll go through it, because I'm going to do it all. Oil's the final frontier for me to master really and learn, and I don't think it's going to take me that long. Once I understand the color blending thing, I should be able to really pump out some decent quality pieces. That's my hope. I'm not saying I'm going to be the best or an amazing master. Definitely not going to be a master. It's not my goal. Inking, maybe. If I could slow down and stop rushing my pieces, but definitely want to encourage everybody to do the art style that they enjoy and, not be afraid of it. You know what? We're just going to fill in these. There's too many spots over here. It's looking like a Rorschach test here. Which is also from The Watchmen. You should watch The Watchmen. I'm going to watch The Watchmen. I love The Watchmen. I love comic book movies that are really dark and really deep. Not a big fan of DC films, other than the Dark Knight series and stuff, Batman series. But other than that, I watched the new Flash, and it was just blech. Aquaman was blech. Wonder Woman is alright. I guess for a female superhero movie, it was great, but to tell you the truth, it still was blech. It just didn't have substance to me. What do you think? What was your favorite DC film, and what's your favorite Marvel film, if you're into that kind of stuff? If you're not, just tell me what's your favorite action superhero. I know you watch it. You wouldn't be watching this if you didn't watch superhero stuff. So the cool thing is if you leave space, you can always fill it in and fix some issues to make it feel more of the design that you're going for, and that's what I'm doing right here. I'm just actually creating new lines that I didn't draw with a pencil to make it feel better. This side has much more black to it, so I need to actually create a little bit more of a I had a really fun debate today with a friend of mine over evolution. I believe in evolution. He does not. And I don't care if he does or not. It's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, whatever you want. I just like to argue about it because it's just funny how we can bicker about things we really both of us don't really know anything about. And he's a hyper intelligent person too, super educated. One of those guys who uses really big words every time he says anything because he likes to try to confuse you and stuff. That's what I think. But he's a great guy. I really love him to death. But that's why I like to argue with him, because I love his way of kind of speaking and his hyper intelligence. I speak very casually, very kind of. I don't use big words because honestly, I find it distracting. I think if you can say it more simply and more in layman terms, you don't have to go to those big, elaborate words and make things sound like you're intelligent. I want people to think I'm dumb for the most part, because I can get away with a lot more if I do. I learned a long time ago when I was a kid that if people don't think of you as a super intelligent person, they're more willing to open up to you and just tell you whatever, because they don't think you have the intelligence to actually go and, use it against them or whatever. And it's always worked. Not that I use it against them ever, but I like to have people open up and be free to talk with me and just let it go. Just be relaxed and chill. Don't feel like they're being judged by someone who's smarter than them and stuff. The trick of the conversation. So yeah, I play dumb a lot. Especially if there's someone in the room already, or there's in the vicinity that is already intelligent and uses that kind of style of conversing, where like everything's super intelligent, everything seems like they're the smartest person in the room. I play extra dumb, and that helps them feel better about being smart, but it also lets me see how people respond and what people need. It's hard to explain. It's very hard to explain. I apologize, but I don't even know where that topic came from. But yeah, if you're expecting me to speak very proper, I suppose, about certain artistic skills and elaborate on history in a very fanciful way, I apologize. That's not what we're going to be doing. This is a time to relax, just draw, and be one with the piece of art. But I'm not going to lie, it just feels like I'm talking to myself, which I guess I am. Because the only viewer right now that is actually watching is me watching my live stream to make sure that comments. Oh, look at that. I got a comment. This looks awesome. How about drawing a sword? Oh, no. So I did draw a sword. You just can't really see it everywhere. It looks like something's coming out of his butt, but it's the blade, and I'll probably go into detail with that. Oh man, I can't even type. You mean you want like a sword in this piece? Or a sword in a whole different piece altogether? Because this piece, I try to put it in the backdrop here as his blade. Which I guess I need to make it better, but it doesn't look like a blade, does it? Alright, when I'm done, I'll figure out what to do with this bad boy. It'd probably look better if it had blood on it or something, then you would know it's a blade. So when I get done, I'm going to actually make that into something. Sorry that I'm just seeing your comment now, Handy. Alacrity. Alacrity? Alacrity? I don't know how to say that. I wasn't actually looking up. But yes, I have a sword. I thought about having the sword actually sticking in the ground back here. But I don't know. I just felt like it should just be on his hip, tied to his sheath in some kind. I couldn't find any real accurate swords that they used that I would replicate. 300 had some, but that's what this is kind of from. It's got that curved blade at the edge, and then it's, Maybe I should do a line here. I gotta work on looking at my live chat. Didn't even notice that someone actually commented. How goofy am I? Sorry. All right. Thank you for the compliment, though. I really appreciate that. I have 3 screens on right now. I have the my phone with the music. I have my iPad with the live so I can see the chat, and then I have my OBS system to my right to make sure that I'm in like on screen and it hasn't frozen. For some reason, it freezes quite a bit. OBS on my computer is like hates me. But we're almost done for today. Don't want to keep the live stream going on for hours and hours on end. I'm hungry for some reason, and I've been stressed all day. If you ever wonder if you're going to get older and things are going to get easier, they don't. The older you get, the harder things get. It's just how you deal with things that gets easier. You start to stop caring so much about the little things and stop caring about the things that you used to worry about. And you focus more on the things that give you real joy. So that's the difference as you get older. I don't know why I just said that, but I felt like it's needed to be said. I thought when I was younger, as a young artist, I was like, oh man, when I get really good at art, life is going to be easy. I'll be a pro. I'll be working for Marvel. Stanley and I will be hanging out. I'm so mad that Stanley died and I didn't get to meet him. Still angry about that. Him and Steve Irwin. Man, if you have somebody you always wanted to meet and you don't want them to pass away yet, Jim Carrey is my next one. I'm actually going to message him somehow. I think I can message his producer and ask him if he wants to do some art together. But I want to get my website up and I want to get a couple pieces up, kind of show him what I'm all about, and then reach out to him because he's somebody who helped me get through a lot of stuff growing up. His humor. If it wasn't for him, I'd be a depressed little boy. You know, growing up to a man to be more depressed. Dumb and Dumber saved my soul almost. And it made me have some really good friendships too, because a lot of people that enjoy that kind of movie, we get along very well. We like to riff on each other, and it's just Jim Carrey. What a dude. But he's getting old, and the thing is that we think of movie stars and actors and musicians as untouchables, but we also forget that they're human and they're just like us, and when they're trying to do things that they want to do, yeah, they've got fame and fortune, but you would too if you were put in a situation and had the drive or the circumstances work out for you that way, and you wouldn't probably want the world to think of you as anything less than just a normal person who's trying to live. So I think there's a high chance for me able to at least have coffee with Jim, the Canadian. But there's other people I really want to meet, like Wes Studi. He's an indigenous actor. I really want to meet him. He seems like a really cool guy. And let's see, who else would be great to meet? I don't know. I feel like meeting Tom Hanks would be kind of cool too. Oh, that lady just sneezed hard. We have a sneezing lady in our apartment complex. Her sneezes are infamous for traveling all over. I feel like she's going to bust her lungs out though. They're violent sneezes. All right, we're about an hour into this. So I'm just going to go a little bit further. Handy's got me thinking about the sword thing now. So I'll explain how to fix a sword and draw a sword. Let's say he wanted that and I wanted to draw for him. Let's say he was a client. This is how you would deal with something like that with ink too. So he wants a sword in there. Let's say that. I have my sword, but let's say he doesn't want it there. He wants it on the ground, either laying down or sticking out. Now, in order to do that, I would have to cross these lines out and go through these lines. Okay. The only way to pull this off cleanly is I would first draw it in pencil, but I would draw it sticking out, and then wherever it met these lines, I would put black all the way through it, and it would be a silhouette of a sword more than it would be an actual sword with detail. But the parts where I didn't draw, the white parts, I would add those. I would leave it white and keep it as visible as possible to be the sword. Division in it, but it would stand out. And that's what I would probably do. Or right here, I think this is what that is, a sword that I drew and I'd never finished it. It was on the ground. You can hardly see it, but there's a sword right here on the ground. That was my backup sword. And if I wanted to erase this one, what I would do is I would black it out, or have these cross hatches come in through and then black out certain areas. I'd probably black out the whole thing. I'd black out that much. I'd even cover up some of the cross hatching stuff and make it feel like water. And then I'd do some black here to make up for it so it didn't look out of place. And that's what you would have to do. Yeah. So let me finish the little part right here. I guess Handy left. He's not viewing it, but that's my fault for not seeing his comment. Get distracted when I work. So you can see here how the rain is popping up, but because I want it to pop out more, I need a color around it to really make it stand out, and all the little water drops, raindrops. Yeah, that looks good. So we're going to end it there. I know I don't want to keep on coloring because A, I don't have much to talk about, and B, I think you get the point. So this is the big tip of the Lambda symbol coming out, And I'm going to color all of this in, hopefully by tomorrow or the next day, or we might continue it tomorrow. This other part should be much easier since this is more of the complicated area up here. But yeah, it's looking good. It's looking really good. I'll go through after I'm done with a 1, because there's a lot of areas here that need to be kind of filled in to tighten up these lines and kind of make these sharp edges. The sharp edges matter, the small details matter. Don't matter too much, but if you want to have a clean print, which I'm going to have this print for sale for people. Yeah, all my art pieces are on sale eventually, and I'll let you know when that goes up on the website. But thank you very much for watching, and like and subscribe, of course. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to enjoy my Thursday night, and tomorrow will be Friday. So if you're just chilling and want to watch some drawing, stay tuned. I don't think I'll do the morning. Maybe I'll do morning. I don't know. Live stream's so hard to know when I'm going to do it. I'll get a schedule once I figure out when the best time for people to watch it is. We're still working on it. Anyways, have a great night, and don't forget to be creative. Thank you guys.